Hey everybody, I hope and pray that you're doing well today as we come to our word from the Word. And today that word is monopoly. Monopoly. And no, we're not going to play the game or worry about pass and go to collect $200. But as we're talking about monopoly, the accusation coming from Job's friends here today were that Job had a monopoly on wisdom, that he's the one that knew it all. So if you've been able to join with us in the past couple of weeks, and you've been with us in the book of Job, we left off last week with that great pivotal moment where Job says he's assured of his salvation. He's assured of God because he says, even though he slayed me, I will still trust in him. Just that great statement of faith. This week, we're going to finish up this week with a very similar statement that he makes that really is it'll just blow your mind if you haven't read it before. So this week we're going to be through Job chapter 15 going on through chapter 19 this week. So I encourage you as always to be reading along with us. Now today, and we'll be going back and forth between what each friend says and then what Job says, but on Thursday and Friday, if you're watching these daily, those will both deal with two things that Job says. But for today, rather, Job 15, I want to just jump right in, read verses 7 through 13. He says, and this is Eliphaz speaking, he says, "Are you the first man who was born, or were you made before the hills? Have you heard the counsel of God? Do you limit wisdom to yourself? What do you know that we do not know? What do you understand that is not in us? Both the gray-haired and the aged are among us, much older than your father. Are the consolations of God too small for you, and the words spoken gently with you? Why does your heart carry you away, and what do your eyes wink at, that you turn your spirit against God and let such words go out of your mouth?" So you're going to see that Eliphaz and friends, but especially Eliphaz right here, he basically just begins to attack Job, attack the words that he was saying and his whole attitude. And at first they were really doing a good job comforting Job, and we'll really talk about that tomorrow. But really they were doing good until they opened their mouth. When they sat there with him for a week, they were doing okay. But then after that, it goes downhill. And so their accusation now is, see, all of these three friends are older than Job. And as they're looking to him, that don't you understand that, wait a minute, all these older people are telling you, Job, what's going on. They're giving you advice, and they're giving you counsel, and even those around in public, right, who are seeing this and understanding what you're going through. There's a lot that are a lot wiser than you. He attacks Job in a way of saying, look, were you the first one that was ever born, right? I mean, essentially, right? Were you here before everything else? Now, God's going to address that when it gets to it. But I'm going to be honest, when you get to that, he has a lot more negative things to say for Job's friends than he really does towards Job. But here's the whole thought process. Remember what's coming from Satan, and what Satan is using these three friends to try to trick Job, try to deceive Job into believing the lie that many of us unfortunately still believe today, that God always blesses those who are doing right and only punishes the wicked. Now, we know eternally speaking, right, when this life is over, in the next life, we know that is true, right? Because you will be rewarded. Those who are saved will spend eternity in heaven. Those who are unsaved, the wicked, will spend an eternity in hell. That's exactly that premise. But now, while on earth, it doesn't always come out that way. Because there's a lot of times where you look and it seems where the wicked seem to be prospering. And it seems that the spiritual, the holy ones, the ones who are doing right, those are the ones who are suffering and struggling to make ends meet, struggling through each and every day. So the friends were trying to get Job to believe that he must be wrong and that God would not allow anything to happen to those who are righteous. And Job, even though he doesn't understand, and quite frankly, he thinks it's all unfair, he still holds true to his faith. So he doesn't claim to have a monopoly on wisdom. The only thing that he claims is that he still trusts in God. See, now, had his friends really known the same truth that James tells us later in his letter in the New Testament, right? If any of you lacks wisdom, just let him ask of God. I wonder if any of these three friends really sought God and sought his counsel before trying to give counsel to others. You say, now, what's the purpose of this? What does this have to do with us today? Well, I want to make sure that, right, they were accusing Job of having a monopoly on wisdom or acting like he did. And so I do want a word of caution for us to make sure that we never act like we have a monopoly on wisdom. We don't have a monopoly on anything. All we have is the Holy Spirit of God, and God is the one that owns everything, not us. So if we lack wisdom, we just simply need to ask, and he will give, and give liberally to all those who ask. But I pray that you'll see through this week as well, I pray that we would be better comforters towards others, that we wouldn't be attacking necessarily the speaker, right? We wouldn't be attacking the one who's going through the pain and suffering as these three friends were doing to Job. We'll really follow up with that tomorrow. But today, just simply, if you're lacking wisdom, ask God. But don't ever give the appearance to others that you've got it all figured out. Right? I can tell you just the same, right? That a lot of times, people will think the preacher's got it all figured out. No, we're learning right along with you. Right? I mean, every day is a learning process to learn more about him, to dive a little deeper. And if we're not learning, then what are we doing? If we're not striving to know him better, what are we doing? So we don't have a monopoly on truth. We don't have a monopoly on wisdom. We don't have a monopoly on any of these things. God is the one who owns them all, and he gives liberally. So today, let's not play the game of monopoly. Let's just remember to focus on him. Let's remember to spread his love and comfort for others and seek him in every case. God bless you, and I pray you have a great day.